on, everybody? And happy Mother's Day. For those of you that are moms, hope you had a great day. Hope the kids took you out. Husband treated you well, or you treated your mom well. Hope you had a great day. It's another edition of the Al Gattullo Craft Beer Cast on AM 970. The Answer. You know, Mother's Day, it's a little bittersweet for me, obviously. I lost my mom 6 years ago. It also happens to be my dad's birthday. My dad, I have to do the math because I don't have it in my head how old he would have been. Let's see. He would have been, wow, good Lord. My dad would have been 92 today had he lived. For me, it's a sad day, but I hope for others, I hope you guys had a great day. I hope you ladies had a great day. Now, coming up in 20 minutes, this is going to be a fun one. Danny Caparelli, Mike Reyna, co-owners and brewers of Erratic Fermentations. They just opened in Bradley Beach, where the old Bradley Beach brew pub used to be. They'll be on the final two segments of the program. It comes your way, I'd say about 20, 25 minutes from now. You definitely want to listen to this one. We recorded this interview on Wednesday at the brewery, and what they've done to the space, how they've changed it from what the Bradley Brew Pub was. I mean, still, the same equipment is in there, same sort of setup, but the way they've opened up the space to make it warm and inviting for people to come in and sit down and have a beer is remarkable. We'll get into that. We'll get into why they decided now is the right time to open their own brewery. They've been home brewers for a long time. Lots of things to get into. And whether it was a conscious or unconscious effort on the styles that they started off with. Usually everybody's heavy IPAs, but this, their start, not so much. But we'll get into all of it with Danny and Mike in just about 20 minutes from now. Our good friends from Dogfish Head Beer and CBS's iconic television series Survivor teaming up, celebrating the show's 50th season. It's a limited edition launch of Coconut Etiquette. It's a collaborative beer inspired by Survivor's island setting. Now, what is Coconut Etiquette? It's a hazy IPA, 6.2% ABV, brewed with toasted coconut, dehydrated coconut water, and passion fruit. It was first debuted as a surprise and delight offer for idol hunters visiting Dogfish Head's Delaware Brewery during Survivor's nationwide scavenger hunt, the Survivor 50 Challenge. Coconut Etiquette will now be available for fans from coast to coast to enjoy while supplies last. Sam Calagione, of course, the Dogfish Head brewer and founder, said, "I've watched Survivor alongside my family for years, so when the opportunity came about to collaborate with the show to celebrate their 50th season, I couldn't have been more excited. Working alongside my fellow brewers, we wanted to create a reward-worthy beer embodying the show's island setting. Together, we landed on a beautifully refreshing hazy IPA with all the tropical aromas and flavors you'd expect to find on a jaunt around a Fijian paradise." Now, what they did was, it's a limited edition box. It's a Dogfish Head Survivor packed with Dogfish Head and Survivor merchandise, right? $50, inclusive of ground shipping. Every Dogfish Head Survivor Season 50 kit features the following items: a 4-pack of 12-ounce cans of Coconut Etiquette, one Dogfish Head Survivor pint glass, a Dogfish Head Survivor sticker, a Dogfish Head Survivor Buff Fans. Okay. Oh, I see. It's a, I sort of messed this up here. Anyway, a Survivor Buff. I don't know what that is. White. Maybe it's a one of those hand towels. Anyway, it's this whole kit. It's $50. You can grab the limited edition Dogfish Head Survivor Season 50 kit via GiveThemBeer.com. Now, your last chance to get one of these is tomorrow, May 11th at 1 p.m. Eastern. It's limited to one kit per person. So if you're a big fan of Dogfish Head, you're a big fan of Survivor, get online tomorrow, 1 p.m. Eastern, GiveThemBeer.com. That's going to be your last chance to grab it. If you order it by tomorrow, you will get it ahead of the Survivor Season 50 finale. That is slated to air on CBS and Paramount Plus on Wednesday, May 20th at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. And if you still can't snag a kit, shop.dogfish.com. You can grab some pint glasses, a sticker, or a buff. Items are sold separately. The beer is not included. For more information on both, dogfish.com and cbs.com/shows/survivor, respectively. There you go. It was a bit of a mouthful, but, hopefully you get on that kit and you enjoy that beer. AleSmith has come out with a lighter, more sessionable format of their AleSmith Speedway Stout series. It's called AleSmith Pace Car. It's a smooth, uber-creamy 6% ABV nitro coffee stout, rich and seductive espresso and chocolate tones, complemented by a subtle roasted barley and toffee character. Ryan Crisp, who we've had on this program before, Vice President of Operations for AleSmith, says Pace Car is inspired by our approach to the quality coffee and craftsmanship in Speedway Stout, but built to be more approachable at 6%. We've received many requests for a lower ABV stout you can enjoy multiple pints of. We're excited to bring it to life this year. With Pace Car, you get light roast, chocolate, and subtle toffee notes, fresh coffee, and a smooth, creamy nitro pour on draft and in cans. It's 16-ounce 4-pack cans and in draft. It is available at the brewery's tap room as well as online and many retail outlets in California, Pennsylvania, Ohio, Minnesota, Texas, Illinois, Washington, Oregon, Arizona, Virginia, and Washington, D.C. I have to tell you, the Speedway Stout Series is phenomenal. When they do their Speedway Stout Grand Prix during during San Diego Beer Week, it is something you do not want to miss. If you plan on heading to San Diego in November for Craft Beer Week, you absolutely must stop at AleSmith in Miramar. It's such a phenomenal event. Now, we only did one flight when we were there, my best friend and I, and it was enough. I mean, there's no way I could have drank 2 flights and gotten in a car and driven. We had to wait a while for the alcohol to wear off, but it's just a phenomenal event. We had such a good time. Speaking of keeping things in San Diego, Coronado Brewing, celebrating their 30th anniversary this year. They're doing some collaborations with different breweries. This one that is available now on draft and in limited 16-ounce 4-packs is called Momentum. It's brewed with Maui Brewing Company. It's a crisp IPA with hibiscus and guava. No word on the ABV. I imagine it's somewhere around 6-7%. But kudos to Coronado. They're celebrating. Think about that. Coronado's celebrating 30 years this year. Firestone Walker celebrating 30 years this year. Stone Brewing celebrating 30 years this year. It's pretty remarkable if you think about it. There is a new brewing company in town. Now, I don't know where they're brewing their beer, but we have had Jeremy Cowan on the program before. He is the founder of Schmaltz Brewing, of Coney Island, as well as 518 Craft. This is called New York City Brewing Company. The brand launched with a pair of beers over the last week, Mulberry Pilsner and Washington Square Park Hazy IPA. They were at a trio of events in New York City about a week and a half ago. Ski Beer is distributing the beers to Manhattan bars and restaurants, including Barcade, Tom and Jerry's, City Winery, Cooper's, Alfie's, Half Pint, White Horse Tavern, a bunch of other places. So it is only in Manhattan right now in bars and restaurants. I'd be interested to see what the deal is with this. I'll have to check out the website and stuff. But we've had Jeremy on the program before, and a lot of the beers he was brewing upstate, wondering if he is brewing down here and what the deal is there. Von Ebert Brewing has announced the release of 2 Mexican lagers. Obviously, they put these out in time for Cinco de Mayo, but they're available now. Both beers are 5.3% ABV. Dusk Mexican-style dark lager offering lightly toasted and subtle caramel sweetness, and Dawn Mexican-style pale lager, crisp, quaffable notes of orange blossom, light corn sweetness, and cracker malt. These seasonal lagers available at all Von Ebert Brewing locations in draft and 16-ounce cans, as well as in some Northwest retailers, restaurants, and bars while they last. And then Lord Hobo Lone Pine has decided to shift production to the Isle Brewers Guild in Pawtucket, Rhode Island. The first IBG brewed batches are expected to roll out in early June. Evergreen board member Simon Thorpe told Brewbound the tap room and event space at Lord Hobo's facility in Woburn, Massachusetts will remain open, but the company will cease operations of its 100,000-barrel capacity brewhouse. They've laid off 18 people. He said to Brewbound, when you get to this kind of strategic change and inflection points in an industry and a company, the most difficult thing is that you're forced to part ways with people who have been part of the fabric of the company. All departing employees were offered severance packages and transition support. In addition, they're welcome to apply for continued employment at other company locations, including taproom breweries and at Lone Pine's innovation facility in Gorham, Maine. It has become a hub for Beyond Beer innovation. Gorham has, including THC-infused High J, and the company has leaned on private events as one of several revenue drivers. Evergreen also continues to vet potential partners to join its brand-centric platform. So, again, more consolidation here. But my guess is the reason why they decided to shift production to a sort of a gypsy brew kind of thing is to save. I mean, obviously they're laying off people, but also I think it's production costs, cost of grain, aluminum, all these things are factored in. They found that I guess it was cheaper to do it this way than to continue to employ 18 people. You know, we know that there's a shift in the beer business, and we saw less closings and I think it was less closings and slightly more openings last year. It's interesting to see the longer this war with Iran continues, are things going to be affected long-term in the beer business? Let's hope not. I don't want to see that happening because that would be a shame. And I think while in some ways consolidation is good, I think in some ways consolidation is bad. I digress. When we come back after a short break, more news and notes from around the beer world. And if we have the time, we may do it this week, we may do it next week. AI advertisements for breweries and other things. Do you like it? Do you hate it? I posted something on the Craft Beer Cast page. Hopefully you can weigh in on that. We'd love to get your thoughts on it. That's coming up next on the Al Gattullo Craft Beer Cast on AM 970 The Answer. Welcome back to the Al Gattullo Craft Beer Cast on AM 970 The Answer. Hope you're doing well on this Mother's Day. Hope you had a great day for those moms out there that are still around, and celebrate them. Your moms are just as important as the dads. I know dads sort of get the short shrift on Father's Day, but moms deserve it. They put up with a lot. My mom certainly did. Coming up in just a bit, Danny and Mike, co-owners and brewers of Erratic Fermentations. They just opened in Bradley Beach, where the old Bradley Beach Brew Pub used to be. They'll be on the program. We recorded this at the brewery, the final two segments of the show. It was a lot of fun. Got to try some different things, and a little bit of a surprise. They had a beer release on Friday, and since we recorded it on a Wednesday, we talk about the new beer. By now it might be sold out. I don't know, but we'll get into it with Danny and Mike in just a little bit. But right now, without further ado, before we get into the rest of our news and notes, let's check in with our buddy Gary Monterosso in his weekly segment of Beverage Chronicles.
I'm Gary Monterosso for the Al Gattullo Craft Beer Cast. Beer has always been an affordable luxury, but lately with tighter budgets and changing habits, drinkers are starting to question value more than ever. Just because a beer is expensive doesn't mean it's better. High alcohol, barrel aging, or limited releases can drive up prices, but sometimes you're paying more for hype than quality. Don't get caught chasing rare bottles or waiting in long lines. Instead, focus on what delivers real value, like well-made classics, especially traditional Belgian styles that offer great flavor without breaking the bank. At the end of the day, the best beer isn't the most expensive, it's the one worth your money.
Gary is that was a good one. Thank you, Gary. I do appreciate that. It's all about value, right? If you're spending $20 on a 4-pack of beer, you're trying to make sure that 4-pack is going to give you the bang for your buck. He's right. You're chasing stuff, you're going to end up not enjoying what it is that you're drinking. Buy stuff that you enjoy. And if it's a little bit of a cheaper price, that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. As long as the beer is good, it's a good value. Thank you, Gary. We do appreciate it. Our good friends at Screamin Hill, they will be celebrating 11 years as a brewery coming up on July 11th. Not only are they celebrating 11 years, but also celebrating 250 years of the United States of America. They're going to have an antique tractor show, Sweet Carolina barbecue food truck, live music by the Williams Boy, and more. So July 11th over at Screamin Hill to celebrate 11 years. Kudos to those boys. I might go to that. That might be a nice day out with the family. I will definitely check that out. Killsboro, we talked about for the last couple of weeks how Pizza Party is happening at the end of July. Well, guess what? Killsboro is going to be in Asbury Park starting on Tuesday, May 19th. They're taking over Alola's European Cafe To celebrate their official arrival at the shore, they're not just dropping off kegs. They're bringing the whole Killsborough experience to the neighborhood. Crew's going to be on site starting at 6 p.m. They're pouring free samples, giving away exclusive gear, and raising a glass to their new home in Asbury. Whether you've been hunting down our cans for years or you're just getting your first taste of Staten Island's best, come through and help us do this right. Again, it's Tuesday, May the 19th, 6 p.m. at Lola's European Cafe. So kudos to the folks over at Killsborough getting in to Asbury Park. That's awesome. Now I know. Now that's a place I will certainly frequent when I'm down in Asbury this summer, because I'll be there a bunch of times for some shows at the Stone Pony Summer Stage. WeldWorks, 2 new beers that are out. It just came out this past Friday. Cashmere Extra Juicy Bits. It's an 8.6% hazy double IPA loaded up and double dry hopped with Citra, Mosaic, and Eldorado hops. Then it's hit with an extra dose of Cashmere for that soft, dreamy finish. Think waves of ripe citrus, tropical candy, and smooth, pillowy vibes from start to finish. Same juice, new drip. It is pouring now in the tap room, and I believe it's also available in cans as well. And then they're going full cosmic dessert mode with their pals at Little Man Ice Cream to bring back Space Junkie. It's a 4.1% sour ale. It's stacked just like your dream sundae, loaded with Little Man's Space Junkie ice cream with chunks of house-made brownies, black raspberries, marshmallow fluff, silky vanilla, and a touch of milk sugar for that smooth, creamy finish. So 2 new beers at WeldWorks. They're on tap right now, and they're also available in cans. Dewey Beer Company has done a collab with Troegs. It's called Tide Motel. It's an 8% ABV hazy double IPA. It's bursting with ripe mango, bright orange citrus, and a splash of lime. And the Tropical Crusher, built for summer, brewed with Superdelic, a hop I've not heard of, Nectaron, and Citra hops. Limited cans draft available in Harbison and Dewey Beach. That happened this past Thursday. A special release party also happened at Sturgis Speakeasy back on Wednesday evening. But that beer is out now, and it is available. It's a collab between Dewey Beer and Troegs. And then a really cool event in Fishtown, in the Fishtown neighborhood of Philadelphia. This is the second year they're doing this. I've not heard of this. Obviously, it's brand new. But this is Saturday, June 20th. Evil Genius puts this on. Apparently, join us as we celebrate all of the amazing craft beer that Philadelphia has to offer, with a special emphasis on our beloved neighborhood in Fishtown. We're taking over Front Street between Columbia Avenue and Palmer Street to bring you an unforgettable afternoon featuring the area's top breweries, each pouring a killer lineup of their best beers. Tickets come with a unique event-branded tasting glass and access to all beers on tap during the event. You can save 10% on ticket prices when you get early bird tickets. There are only a few of those early bird tickets available. They come with access to the event and a specialty glass. General admission tickets come with access to the event and a specialty sampling glass. And then, of course, there are designated driver tickets. You will not be permitted, obviously, to consume alcohol during the event. Will not receive a glass. So it's just a designated driver's ticket. I'm assuming there'll be water on site for them. 30-plus beers. Evil Genius, Love City Brewing, Tired Hands, Yards, Urban Village, Space Cadet, Punch Buggy Brewing Company, Cartesian Brewing, Source Urban Brewing will be there as well, Philadelphia Brewing, Attic Brewing Company. There'll be some more breweries announced. It is a rain or shine event. Last year's event apparently sold out. So this is, good stuff. If you're in the Fishtown area, you certainly want to take advantage of that, which is really cool. So let me see here. This is, I guess it's an Evil Genius event. So let's see more details. Okay. Do they have, all right, they don't have a ticket. Okay. Here's the ticket link. So if you go to Evil Genius, let me go back here. Go to evilgeniusbeer.com and then click on the calendar. When you get there, there's a ticket link, and it takes you to the event. 11 a.m., they start letting people in. Noontime is the show. There is no VIP. If you get an early bird ticket, it's $40.75. That includes fees. So that's your all-in price is $40.75. If you get the general admission ticket, once the early bird is sold out, it's $5 more. It's $45.75. And the designated driver ticket is just $15.75. And that includes all your fees. So I'm assuming they add tax in at the end. Let me see if I click on this, if this will give me. Yeah, so it's $40.75. That's it. Your fees and taxes is 75 cents. So listen, for a day of drinking in June, that's pretty cool. So evilgeniusbeer.com, and then just click on the calendar, and that will take you to the events page. And then from there, you can there's a clickable link, take you right in to buy tickets. That's a fun Saturday in Fishtown. Fishtown's a great spot in Philly, not only because I'm fans of Source Brewing. I mean, first off, the place is great, right? It's small, but it delivers. The beer is excellent. The food is fantastic. Phil and the guys have done a tremendous job over there. And you've got other half around the corner. Barcade is right across the street. You have, Parks Casino is right nearby. There's a lot of good stuff over there. And a lot of great breweries and a lot of good places to drink and eat. You have to check out the Fishtown area of Philadelphia. It is definitely worth a trip down there on a weekend. Coming up next, Danny and Mike, co-owners and brewers of Erratic Fermentations, just opened in Bradley Beach, where the old Bradley Beach Brew Pub used to be. They joined me on the program from the brewery. This is the Al Gattullo Craft Beer Cast on AM 970, The Answer. Welcome back to the Al Gattullo Craft Beer Cast on AM 970, The Answer. You know how to follow me on X, on Twitter, at Al Gattullo, Instagram, at Gattullo, Gattullo, Facebook.com/AG Craft Beer Cast. Of course, we're on iTunes. You just do a search for AG Craft Beer Cast. We're Alexa ready as well. We're in a smattering of other places, including the Hopped Up Network. At thehoppedupnetwork.com, there's a plethora of beer podcasts that you definitely want to tune into over there. In addition to mine, you can listen to these shows anytime that you want. Now, my next guests, former homebrewers and the co-owners and brewers of a new spot that's actually an old spot in Bradley Beach, New Jersey. More on that in just a moment. They're open Wednesday through Sunday. You can follow them on Instagram at Erratic Fermentations. Let me welcome to the program for the first time the co-owners of Erratic Fermentations, Danny Caparelli, I believe. Jasinski, okay, and Mike Reyna. See, I had already got a mistake going there. Gentlemen, how are you?
Very good, very good. Thank you for coming.
Doing great.
All right. As I understand it, you guys were home brewers for years. Folks loved your beer. How did you both get started into home brewing? Danny, I'll start with you first.
A long time ago, I got a homebrew kit, probably about 12, 13 years ago. I was very fascinated by just the process of home brewing and all the concepts of all the cool little tricks and all the cool equipment that comes along with it. So then after a couple of years of brewing by myself, I noticed Mike was also brewing, and me and him have been buddies forever. So we linked up and we started brewing beer together, and just from there, this is what came out of it.
Okay. Mike?
Yeah, so my buddy Bo and I, we went to Dogfish one year on a whim, and we kind of fell in love with brewing right then and there. Bo stopped brewing. He still loves it a lot, but he stopped, and I just kept continuing, and I picked up right where Dan left off. We linked up again and realized we were brewing.
Now, when you were at Dogfish, was it just the equipment, the styles of beer, maybe running into Sam, because Sam Calagione is everywhere, and he sort of pops up every once in a while and does some crazy things, but was it just one particular thing that you saw there that was like, wow, I got to do this?
I think there was a lot of inspiration the second we started. So we went on the tour, obviously. We had to do the tour. We drove all that way. And we got to seeing where he started and how he started. And we figured if this guy can do all this and make such great beer with just dedication and a positive mind, then we could probably make something decent, or at least try to. And our first beer was terrible. But it was a brown ale inspired off of his brown ale, because that beer was delicious on draft there.
It seems to be, a brown ale seems to be the one that everybody wants to make when they first have a home brewing kit. Was that your first beer, Danny?
No, it actually wasn't. I actually made a stout first. But the next beer I did make was a brown ale, so it is kind of funny. I think during that time was the Newcastle was very popular. Right. And it was something different that people were drinking other than just regular domestic beer. So I think that's where everyone was like, "Oh, brown ale sounds like fun," because it was just the other beer that was around, in my opinion. Yeah. But that was for me. Yeah.
When we were around 2012, 2013.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's when Newcastle, I think, took off.
The whole Newcastle thing was cool at that time.
Right.
So.
Nobody wants to make a Budweiser, so I totally get it. So things are moving along with the home brewing. You're getting great feedback. I'm sure your friends and family were saying to you guys, you have to open a brewery. Why was now the right time to open a brewery, Mike?
So we gave this a shot a few times trying to open, and locations just kept failing on us, whether it was the town not having the permit, us not having the money to fund for the permit, rental being too expensive. This is just what worked for us right now, and then we jumped on it as soon as we found the opportunity.
Okay. And Danny, was this particular area, Ocean County, was a place you were looking at, or it didn't matter in Jersey where you opened?
I don't think at a certain point it didn't matter anymore to us. We are happy that we're here. I mean, we never thought that we would ever be at the beach. This whole place is built around the woods because that's where me and Mike are from, brewing in the barn, in the back in the woods. So we never envisioned a brewery at the beach. So we kept our vision the same, even though we're here in Bradley. But we still, serve the same vibe that we would have served as if we were home. So that was what was important to us more than the location, was just to bring who we are to whatever location that we found.
Nice. Talking with Danny and Mike, the co-owners and brewers at Erratic Fermentations, open Wednesday through Sunday. You can follow them on Instagram at Erratic Fermentations. It's a long word. We'll post the links and all that other good stuff. We're here on the Al Gattullo Craft Beer Cast on AM 970, The Answer. So the original owners of this space, Chelsea and Mike, the folks from Bradley Beach Brewing, they've now moved some of their beers to their new space at Tall Oaks over in Farmingdale, New Jersey. When you purchased the place from them, did you buy the tanks that were already here, and what equipment did you bring to the place, Danny?
We purchased a good amount of the stuff that was already here from them, but we incorporated our own stuff. So we have a foeder back here now, so we do foeder beers. That was something that we were always striving to do, even as home brewers. I know it sounds crazy, what home brewers own a foeder, but we've been trying to do this for a long time. So we jumped on that opportunity, and we also upgraded our whole system over here for barrel program stuff that we love to do as passion homebrewers that we were. We were always barreling beers, and a lot of people that drank our beers in the past always understood that we make some really, really, really nice barrel beers. So we jumped on that opportunity, and another thing was we incorporated our smaller system over here. So we're always making cool, quirky, little fun beers that that are simple but will be in the tap house and not have to worry about making large batches of beer that hopefully no one likes, Right. So we got the opportunity to make all these fun experimental beers here, and over time we'll be able to do some really cool things with those beers. Nice. And that's what we're excited about.
So, Mike, how much space did you guys have? Whose garage were you using to store? I mean, because, listen, the foeder is not that big, but obviously it takes up space, and you have a tank for home brewing. You've got, the barrels, all this stuff. Whose garage were you guys using?
So my parents owned 10 acres in Jackson, right behind Six Flags. And we were using the barn where the horses once lived. We knocked down the stalls and did a pitched concrete floor, fully encased. It was awesome. That was the intention, was to open up in the barn. They have other plans for their future. They want to leave, so we didn't want to do that to them. So we stopped investing in brewing at the farm. We were also using their cellar as all of our barrel aging areas. We even used up 2 of their rooms in the basement for just dark beer and sour beer, so we never get infections. They love me very much, apparently.
Yes, they do. Boy, I'll tell you. And obviously, doing it in a barn, you have Screamin Hill right around the corner. There's Booter Beer that's not too far down the road in New Egypt. So would have been nice to have a third farm brewery. But listen, you guys pivoted, and that's totally fine. Now, I was here on opening day, and the first thing that struck me before the beer, obviously, was what you guys did here to the tap room, because I was here when it was Bradley Beach Brewing, and I felt like it was a very tight space. It was not that it wasn't inviting for you to come in and sit down and have a beer. I just felt like you walk in, there was a register right there. It was sort of cramped in the front here, but you guys expanded this space. You put a bar in here. You have seating over here. You did an amazing job with this woodwork here in the center, so that folks can stand, they can sit. You have the use of the garage door that you can bring up, and there's tables over there, and then you did this whole sidewall. Standing around. Was it intentional to clear out the tables and build this centerpiece here so that people could stand or sit and chat while they're sipping a beverage?
Yeah, we when we first got here, we realized a couple of the things that we wanted to change as far as the process of how people enter the building. We wanted to make more seating at the bar. We wanted to open up the whole entire place to feel the same, so we made all the tables the same height through and through. So the bar across to the next table to the island, all the same height. It's all inviting to the same seating style. It also eliminated all the clutter that, for the walkway for people to navigate to the register to pick up their beer and also navigate to outside. So instead of having more tables to one side, we chose to do this bar top to the right-hand side, and it really has made it much easier for people to come through. And then we were able to add a bunch of seating to the front with all the tabletops. So I think that was a cool strategy that we had going on here.
Yeah, I mean, because you guys were pretty full on that opening day, and yet I never felt at any moment that I was hemmed in or, just I'm standing on a line and there's 4 people crushing me. It felt like it was moving and there was a flow to it, and I love that. I thought that was fantastic. Now, one of my focal points, though, when I walked into the room, is this wall here with all of this wood, and I'm pointing to my left as you walk in, as you're heading out towards the back space, with all the different sizes of wood discs. What was the thinking behind that, Mike?
Oh, we just wanted to add as much wood as we possibly could, and then we figured why not do an accent wall of all the trees that fell down in my backyard, and we just started taking a chainsaw to all the trees and slipping cookies through, and that's where it came from. There was no other thought behind that aside from that.
But I love it. Like when you see it, you want to talk about it because there's so many. Because you can pick out there's holes in certain ones. There's the way they're cut, the way they're just sort of some form look like letters. The 3 in the middle there almost look like bear prints, like a bear is walking across. Like there's so many different ways that you can interpret that, which I think is awesome. We're talking with Danny and Mike, the co-owners and brewers at Erratic Fermentations. They're open Wednesday through Sunday. They're down here in Bradley Beach. You can follow them on Instagram at Erratic Fermentations. We're here on the Al Gattullo Craft Beer Cast on AM 970 The Answer. Now, my understanding, you did all of this woodwork yourself. It's not like you had to bring somebody in to do this stuff. So were you guys involved in wood and hardware and all kinds of stuff before you started home brewing?
Yeah, actually, Michael is a carpenter, and I'm a grip in the union in New York. We build a lot of TV shows and movie sets, so we use like strategies from building those sets. Like, what do the designers do that are beyond what like the normal would be? So we use a lot of those concepts that we built over the years and all of the strategies that we've learned building all these crazy movie sets to incorporate that really fun aspect here. I mean, we really went beyond with all the woodwork here. Like, it's a lot, a lot of these trees are sourced from our house and stuff, so we wanted to make it feel that like this was home, but also like the creativity of what we've accomplished over the past 10 years working in the industry.
Right. And as a carpenter, the tap handles, did you do those tap handles yourself?
Yeah, I made them on a lathe really quick. It was actually 2 days before opening. I realized we didn't have our tap handles yet, and we were sitting outside from 2 in the afternoon until about 10 o'clock at night, just whittling away.
Oh my God! So you have tap handles that are coming, but you decided to do this instead.
Those are the ones we're keeping.
Okay.
Yeah. We wanted to make our own no matter what.
Oh, all right, okay. Oh, so all right, I got you. And obviously, you have a side pull with a lucre pour. You have a bunch of different taps for a bunch of different styles, which I think is great. We're going to talk more about that in a minute. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to dive into more beer things with Danny and Mike from Erratic Fermentations here in beautiful Bradley Beach, New Jersey. Right after this, including a new Mexican lager that I'm drinking right now. We're going to talk about that in just a moment on the Al Gattullo Craft Beer Cast on AM 970 The Answer. Welcome back to the Al Gattullo Craft Beer Cast on AM 970 The Answer. We're coming to you from Erratic Fermentations in beautiful Bradley Beach, New Jersey, and we're talking with Danny and Mike, the co-owners and brewers of this brewery. They are open Wednesday through Sunday. You can follow them on Instagram at Erratic Fermentations. They just opened a couple of weeks ago, and let me tell you something, folks. This is a really cool spot to come to, have a beer, enjoy yourself. There's TVs. You can watch some sports and movies. They've got an outdoor area that you can, in nice weather. Obviously, today we're recording this on a Wednesday, and it's raining, as it usually seems to be in the state of New Jersey. But let's talk about styles of beer. I'm drinking one of your new Mexican lagers right now. You've got 2 of them. One is called Some Cerveza, and then the other one is Some Cerveza, Some Lime, obviously for Cinco de Mayo. Tell me a little bit about these.
Yeah, just a really simple Mexican lager, very light on the adjuncts. There is absolutely no adjuncts except for the lime and the Lucre-specific draft line.
Okay. Now, when I came here on that first day, most breweries, when they open, 3 or 4 hazies, you got to have one crazy adjunct stout. Maybe there's a lager on tap or something, crazy sour or something, but it's mostly IPAs. But what I saw here was you had, I think it was 3 IPAs or 2 IPAs, a Pils, a dark Czech lager, an English mild, 2 stouts, no adjuncts in them, just a regular, just a banging, both of them, high octane, but really, really good. A Saison, lots of styles, and I had to control myself not to drink all of them at once because I loved seeing that on the board there. Was that always the intention when you guys opened, or are those styles some of your favorites to brew?
No, our intention was always to come out swinging. We always wanted to make the best tasting beer that we can make, but we also just, towards our name, it's Erratic Fermentations, we're not just gearing towards one style of beer. We make everything here. I mean, our true passion is always, like I said, it's the barrel beers that we make, but we can't have those on release day right away, so we went in and picked out beers that we thought would be, one, geared towards the style of beer that we like to make. The English mild, that was a lot of fun. Yeah. I wish I had more of that. Can't wait for it to come back. Brown ale, first beer he ever made.
Right.
We made it with our buddy. It made sense to do that. The Saison, we love Saison. It's number one for us almost all the time, and it was a mistake that we made that beer in the past, and it came out so great that we thought it would be great to make it here, and it honestly, it worked out for us. Everyone loved it so much. And then lager and all the Pilsners, we don't just want to make one style. We made so many different styles, like the New Zealand and stuff like that, and people really, really loved them. So we're going to continue to make all the styles of beer and not just focus on IPA or focus on just lager. Right. We want to make everything. So there'll be a mix of all styles of beer all the time here.
Right. See, I love that, and I love a good lager, so I'm happy. I was also happy. Now, full disclosure, we've had Matt Potensky on the show before with Coastal Brew Works. I love the way he brews is great. You guys did a Tamave Pivo with him, that Czech Dark. That is an exceptional beer, and I know both of you guys love working with Matt. Anything maybe in the future with Matt to maybe do something else?
Oh, always. Matt's always going to be a part of our life. He's a great friend of ours as well, and I couldn't imagine, just having a business and not supporting my friends in any way.
Yeah. All right. Well, I definitely think that because you guys both love Saisons, I think a collab with you guys in the Seed is certainly in order, but that's something we could talk about down the road. If each of you had to choose one style to brew, which style would it be and why? Mike, I'm going to start with you.
Oh, man, that's such a difficult question, but
no wrong answer.
There is no wrong answer. I'm just going to go for the extreme, full commitment to an English barley wine. That's what I love doing. I think it can be wrote off as an easy style to make, but I can guarantee it's not. It takes a lot of time and passion and a lot of care.
Why would somebody think that it's an easy style to make?
Well, you can hide your higher ABV beers, the flaws much easier because all that alcohol and barrel can really start hiding those things. And with a lighter beer like a lager, it's really hard to hide those things. So you could say a bigger ABV beer is just easier to make.
Okay, very good. And Danny?
For me, I still want to nail a West Coast IPA. I know it sounds crazy, right? No. It's very simple, but it's not so simple.
No, and it's funny. I think West Coast IPAs are making a big comeback now after they had sort of swung through, and then the hazy sort of became the big thing, and is still a big thing. But then lagers, I think, during the pandemic, made a big comeback because of the fact that brewers had more time to let beer sit in the tanks, which is great because I think at my age now, and certainly others that are drinking, it's great to sit around with a 4 or 5% lager and have a few of them and not get overwhelmed, banged over the head with a double IPA. But I do think a really solid West Coast piney, that dank sort of, that makes you go, it's giving me that bitter face, but I like it. That's something that is definitely missing. And even the guys in California that are making the West Coast IPAs, they're not making them like they used to. You can definitely see a shift from 5 years ago to now at how West Coast IPAs are. They make it almost like a West Coast adjunct. It's a little bitter, but we put a little sweetness in there, which I'm not crazy about. We're talking with Danny and Mike, the co-owners and brewers at Erratic Fermentations. They're open Wednesday through Sunday. You can follow them on Instagram at Erratic Fermentations. We're here on the Al Gattullo Craft Beer Cast on AM 970 The Answer. How has the town reacted to you guys being here? I know they were happy when Bradley Brew was here, but and not happy when they were closing, but they have to be happy that another brewery has taken its place.
We've gotten a quite the large welcome from the community. It was really nice. I was kind of afraid, they were upset that their favorite place was gone. Fortunately, they're able to go to Tall Oak still and go drink, the Bradley beer. Same people, same influence. And yeah, they welcomed us with open arms. I couldn't be happier.
Nice. And you guys, now, my next question was going to be, you have crowlers available to go, but my next thought was going to be, when are you going to can beer? And oddly enough, you have your first can release that happened this past Friday. Since we're airing this on Sunday night, the can release is out. Danny, why don't you talk about the beer that was put in cans and released on Friday?
Yeah, so it's pretty exciting that we finally got some cans coming out this Friday. It is a light IPA. It's 5%. It's actually with a collaboration with a good friend of Michael. They actually have a band here in Asbury. Michael could touch light on the band in a second, but the can itself, the 4 packs of 16-ounce cans, they're just it's one of the best IPAs that I think we've made in a long time. It's very bright. It's very refreshing. Again, it's 5%. It's, again, all New Zealand hops, which we're focusing on here in the brewery. And Michael will probably touch on that too. Yeah. But it's just something that we've really enjoyed drinking, and we're really happy that that's the collaboration and the can that we can bring out with this, this whole band thing. It's really cool for us.
Nice. So, Mike, who's the band?
Band is called Sunshine Spaz. It's a great friend of mine, Ryan Rudders. They are relatively local. They play in Asbury Park quite often, and I couldn't think of another band to do this beer with. Just to touch base on the hops used in the beer, it's Eggers Company, Nelson. Not Nelson, Rawaka.
Right.
And we did a lot of it, and for such a small beer, that Rawaka really shines. It's really cool. We just had Kem here from Eggers, and he drank it. He said we need more in there, so next time he comes around, I got to make sure I give him a lot more. We need to punch him in the face with it, But yeah, they're really cool guys. We're trying to plan a show with them right here at the venue, our venue, and hopefully they'll be playing here in the next couple months.
The Egger hop is the hop that everybody wants to use. I know it started with Twin Elephant, Autodidact's using it. Everybody is using it now. I love it. I think it's fantastic. It's just one of those things where you get that hop, and it's funny when people don't know what the hop is and then they taste it for the first time. They go, "Oh, what's this? What's going on here?" And as brewers are like, "I got to get my hands on this," but it's kind of a rare hop right now. Not everybody is using it, so kudos to you guys that you got the ability to use it and make a beer out of it and make a collab out of it. Now, as homebrewers, was it difficult to scale up knowing you were going to have to make larger batches of your beers, and how do you balance those flavors in, say, a stout when you have to scale up that high?
I mean, as homebrewers, we were always brewing at a larger scale than probably the normal homebrewer was for a long time. So scaling up for us really wasn't that difficult. I think we were pretty stressed out on brewing 12 beers before opening, to have them going into lagering states and all these things like that. And at all 12 beers, I think we did a great job. Like, we didn't have anything going on that was funky. I think we took the upscale thing really in a successful way, I feel like, in my opinion.
And, when you're doing that, 12 beers, you're just opening. Obviously, lagers take longer. You've got to store them somewhere. Everything sort of has to run on that tight schedule. Was there a lot of praying on some nights where you're like, "Oh, God, I hope I get this nailed down"? Because I know that some brewers use, more of the high-end brewers, they'll use a technical system where they drop something into the tank. It gives them the temperature. They don't have to worry about it. It's almost like the Ron Popeil, just set it and forget it, and it's not a problem. But I'm sure there was a lot more hands-on here that you guys had to do. So there must have been some sleepless nights, right?
Yeah, so we actually handled it really well. We overthought, if anything, and we started with our beers that don't have that time constraint on them. And then we went to our lagers, which we knew were going to take longer. And then we went to our hazies at the end. So everything actually worked out really well. At first, we were really scared. And we're like, it's not going to work out that easy. It did. It worked 85% of how we thought it would go.
That's good.
And that was awesome. Knock on wood, I hope that consistently stays like that. But then again, we're not brewing 12 beers at a time again. Yeah, that was horrifying.
Fair point. Okay, so final question for me, and this is going to be the hard one here. I know that when Bradley Brew was here, I know that there was some talk about this entire stretch of building being up for sale and nobody really knowing whether or not the landlord was going to sell and what's happening here. If the building does sell, do you guys have any assurances from the landlord that things won't change, that a new guy comes in and says, "Hey, we're going to do this," or "No, I don't want a brewery"? Is that a risk of rolling the dice here, or did you guys get some assurances?
As of right now, we're locked in here for at least 5 years,
okay,
even with anybody else coming in. But I mean, hopefully the 5 years goes good. Maybe we'll buy the building. Maybe future holds cool things for us here.
I like the way you think, Danny. See, I like this, because most people would answer that question, "Well, we're hoping so and everything's good." You're like, "No, 5 years, we might buy the building." I like that. I like your thinking. That's a good way to think. Think positive, right? My guests have been Danny and Mike. They are the co-owners and brewers at Erratic Fermentations. They're open Wednesday through Sunday. Come on down here, Bradley Beach. The place is beautiful. The beers are outstanding. You guys have done a great job. You can follow them on Instagram at Erratic Fermentations. Guys, thanks for joining me tonight. Really appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Al. We really appreciate you.
appreciate you coming. Thank you.
All right. Hey, that's it. That's all the time we got here for the Al Gattullo Craft Beer Cast. My thanks to everybody involved in the program. And, of course, last but not least, the great Buddy Watson. Back on the Joe Piscopo Show Monday at 6 a.m. This has been the Al Gattullo Craft Beer Cast on AM 970 The Answer. Cheers, everybody.